Please follow the chat. Um, René Descartes. Well, he's a Frenchman. So now we have French scientist. And he's the representative of the rationalist tradition. So what does it mean to be a rationalist? It means that you are introvert. You are trying to find, first of all, within yourself some enlightening ideas before you dare to enter into the outer world. So first of all, you have to come to terms with your own consciousness. You understand? To find out what is true and what is false. And this was the subject of so-called meditations. This is the book of Descartes, Meditations on the First Philosophy. Well, this is interesting, this is curious. What is first philosophy? What is that second philosophy? So this sounds very curious. First philosophy. I'm sorry, on the first philosophy. Philosophy. What are you accustomed to? Should I say philosophy? It's better, yes? Or philosophy? What do you prefer?
Philosophy is good, I think.
Okay, because we in Russian, we say philosophia. So for me as a Russian, it's always difficult to say philosophy. But I heard that many Americans, especially and Englishmen, say philosophy. Okay? Have you heard this variant of pronunciation?
No,
Okay, so
I don't.
meditations on the first philosophy. Okay, so what is the first philosophy? It is in different. It is its synonym is metaphysics. 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 Metaphysics is a treatise by Aristotle, and it's called metaphysics because it comes after physics. It was also a treatise of Aristotle called Physics. And after physics came lectures on first philosophy, which um, which his students called metaphysics because meta is after. So they came after physics. So this is curious how that's how metaphysics became the synonym of the first philosophy. But what is first philosophy? It's philosophy which deals with the first principles of philosophy. First of all, being. Uh, you remember we started with being, ontology. Ontology. This is first philosophy. Also, the problem of truth. What is true and what is false? Truth and falsity. Well, we can say truth and lie, but better say falsity. Falsity. You understand? Falsity. So, and then what is unity and plurality? This is all metaphysics, unity and plurality. What is to be, what makes the difference between things? What makes you special, different from other humans, for example? This is all the subject of metaphysics, plurality. And the last thing which metaphysics discusses is cause and effect. And effect. And also it discusses the problem of freedom and necessity. Freedom and necessity. These are all metaphysical subjects. You understand, metaphysical questions. And also, of course, is included the idea of the first cause, which is God. or prime mover. It's also part of Aristotelian metaphysics. So this is the first philosophy. Now Descartes wants to resume this first philosophy and to meditate on it. And there are 6 meditations. And the first meditation is called the meditation on universal doubt. So first, Descartes doubts everything. He says, perhaps there is a very powerful demon. You know this demon of Descartes. That's an expression which all philosophers know. But maybe you are not professional philosophers, so maybe
I
you,
have one
you
question. Can you send us the file where in which you teach? Like, if we will have some homework or some reading before you
I
start
see, I see,
lecturing, so
I
it will
see, I
be
see.
connectable to us, so we can read that.
I see, I see. I will give you the link later because I have a lecture on Descartes which I myself translated into English. Maybe my translation is not perfect, but I
Okay.
will send you the link so you can follow it in details, because now I can only briefly say what is demon. Demon is a I think in India there are a lot of demons. I mean, they are not bad. You understand? Now we say demon is something bad, but in original Greek, daimon is just some spiritual being which can be even friendly to you, and it because it is translated into Latin by the word genius, and genius is something that we are proud of. If I, but now we attribute genius to people, and we say Einstein is a genius. But the people of the old, they said that Einstein is in friendly relations with some spirit which is called genius, and this genius helps him in making good theoretical physics, you see. So the difference is that in the times of old, these geniuses were objectivized. They were called objectively existent creatures, and now we prefer to make them subjective. So it's just sort of like adjectives, or uh, you understand that we say you are a genius, so you do not have a genius, but you are yourself a genius. This is some quality of your mind. Okay, now with this demon of Descartes, it was an objectively existing powerful being which can interact with your consciousness and provide good or false ideas. And in case it provides false ideas, so you can be led into some false conclusions. So how to behave in such situation, how to withstand such risks and temptations. And Descartes says the only way is to find the principle which you can never doubt. And this principle is I I think, therefore I am. Therefore I am. Therefore I am. You understand this idea? I think, therefore I am. Because I can think wrongly. I can be led astray in my thinking. But I cannot, but if I think wrongly or rightfully, I am existing, because if I didn't exist, I couldn't think. Okay, so this principle of existence you can never doubt, because it is beyond all doubts that you exist. Also, you can doubt my existence and think that perhaps it's all a kind of a dream. Yes, but I myself, I know that I'm not dreaming. Or if I am dreaming, it doesn't disprove that I exist, because if I didn't exist, so I couldn't have any dreams. So existence is self-evident. And out of these self-evident principles, Descartes wanted to build solid philosophy. out of self-evident principles. And he found them in very great number in mathematics. That's why Descartes, well, you know, Cartesian system of reference, yes, uh, coordinate system, yes, is good. We have coordinate system. How do you say that in English? System of reference, or uh, well, the axis x.
Coordinate system.
Cartesian.
Coordinate system is
Cartesian,
He
like
means
yes.
Cartesian
Cartesian.
system, Cartesian axis.
Yes. Now I will say that Cartesian is
Cartesian.
comes from Descartes, because Descartes in Latin is pronounced Cartesius. Okay, so Latin here. This is the importance of Latin once again. If you want to pronounce the surname of Descartes in Latin, you will write Cartesius, and so from this comes adjective Cartesian, Cartesian coordinate system. Yes, so it is Descartes system invented by Descartes. Okay, but we say Cartesian, and people who don't understand the sort of the Cartesius is Descartes in Latin. They think that Cartesian is something just mysterious and has no connection with René Descartes. Okay, I'm not. I'm sure you didn't make this mistake, but maybe some pupils in junior school they may make this mistake. Okay, if they are not rightly informed in time. Okay, and to inform them, you should know essentials of Latin. Okay, because Descartes was even in the 17th century, he was written in this way, in two words. You follow the chat, please. Descartes, in two words, and this cart is Cartesius, and de is like a article, or more or less, or well, uh, you want, well, pre, pre, well, I forgot what is that preposition. Okay, Descartes, coming from Descartes, because he was a aristocrat. Aristocrats always have this preposition von, in the preposition von in German names, von Braun, Werner von Braun, the inventor of spacecrafts. Yes, Werner von Braun. This is the same, or D'Artagnan, if you have read Three Musketeers. Okay, this is Werner von Braun is an engineer. He was von Braun means he was a Prussian aristocrat. And D'Artagnan, the well, if you read Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan, I think like that. Okay, maybe I'm mistaken. Have you read Three Musketeers of Alexandre Dumas, the novel? Maybe Angel Sierra knows this novel.
Yes, I know it. It's French, no?
Yes, French novel by Alexandre Dumas. It's
Alexander
about,
Dumas.
yes,
Mm.
it's about the um, adventures of brave musketeers, brave warriors in the 17th century. So
Yeah, I saw it.
very long ago.
I saw it like
Maria,
a movie.
yes, in Russian we have a movie with actor Boyarsky who was playing D'Artagnan. He is still living, I think, Mikhail Boyarsky. That's I addressed to Maria Zaychenoka. Perhaps she knows this film. It created kind of a noise in, well, it was famous. Of course, in Russia, but we have people from India and China. They do not know Russian movies and Russian celebrities. So,
No, I saw it,
ah,
but I saw it in French, not in Russian.
well, of
Alexander
course, there are
Dumas.
many the screening of Alexandre Dumas novels. So Of course, there are English variants, and well, I want just to say that this Descartes is shows that he was an aristocrat, and this is a preposition. It doesn't pertain to his surname, so that's how from Descartes comes Cartesius, and that's how comes Cartesian system, coordinate system, and so on. So he was a mathematician first of all. Then from mathematics, he wanted to sort of come to physics. And here he also followed a very interesting way. For example, he says, well, Copernicus just imagined that the sun is in the center of the world because the sun is the source of light, and God, seeing that sun is the source of light, made this sort of lighthouse or this lamp, just put it into the center of the world. But what did Descartes sort of reason? He reasoned in this way. Well, our sun is a source of light for Earth. But why? Because our Earth is very close, comparatively close to the sun. But if we look at our sun from the distance of the fixed stars or the stars above, maybe we'll see it as a small star if we look at our sun from a distant star, okay? Imagine, it's imaginary experiment, okay? Look at our sun from a distant star, from the seven stars of the uh, big uh, bear, okay? How you call it in Chinese? The big bear constellation. Big bear. We say большая медведица, big bear constellation. Maybe Angel Sierra, do you know this constellation? Big bear.
Which one? Constellation?
Big bear constellation, seven stars which are near the polar star.
Mm,
From this are because Arctis is in Greek bear, then it's come Arctic zone, or north, synonyms for north. Okay. Big bear, Ursa Major. Okay.
ah,
Ursa is also Latin. Ursus is um, he bear, and Ursa is she bear.
sí,
So
sí, the constellation
Ursa
Osa
Major
Mayor,
is exactly Latin name of this constellation.
Osa
So
Menor y Osa Mayor.
now imagine that you are on one of the stars of Ursa Major, and you want to look at our sun from this constellation. What will you see? And Descartes says, of course, you will see only a small star, but not sun will be not so bright because it's optics. Uh, the brightness decreases with distance. Okay, so if you look at the bright object from long distance, it will not be so bright. Okay, it will not be so big. So our sun will be a small, insignificant star if we look at it from, say, Ursa Major or Sirius or Altair or some other stars or constellations. And then why should God put this small, insignificant star in the center of the world? It loses every uh, probability. So there is no logic in putting one star in the center of the world and put other stars on the periphery or on the border. So, and also, why should we imagine all the stars being from the same distance from the center of the world on the big sphere of fixed stars? Why should we not imagine that these stars are scattered in infinite, or better say, indefinitely large space? This was the idea of Descartes. You see, it's pure rational. There's nothing of experience here, or of experiment, of course, even nothing of observation, just pure thoughts. And they lead Descartes very, very far in anticipating the discovery of Isaac Newton, or the discovery of, we say, infinite space and time, okay? Infinity. From this comes infinity. Well, Descartes himself was a little bit shocked. He was afraid to use the word infinity. And he said that used the Latin word, Latin word indefinitum, indefinitely large, or indefinitum, or indefinitely large, indefinitely. Well, what is the difference between infinite and indefinite? When you say indefinite, you means that you cannot find the border, but you do not insist that actually there's infinity. But when you say it's infinite, then you take all the paradoxes connected with infinity. It's a paradox of, as a so-called Olbers paradox, or photometric paradox, or Olbers paradox, or photometric paradox, that infinite stars create infinite illumination. Okay, paradox. You just look at Olbers paradox, you look at, or photometric paradox. Maybe Maria Zaychenoka knows about it. Photometric paradox. Or maybe she left already the room. You never know who is present and who is absent. There are 14 people here. Uh, Maria, are you present? Can you hear me? She left. Maybe it's too dull what I'm speaking. Okay. But still,
I'm here. I just wrote that I have some problems with the camera.
Okay, Maria, can you confirm what I'm speaking about infinite and about photometric paradox?
Oh, not really, I think.
What is, I will explain you in Russian, and everybody will. Бесконечное число звезд создает бесконечную светимость. Okay?
No, I understand, but just like I think I've never heard about it.
But you can Google it, yes?
Yes.
Okay, please do it as your homework. Photometric paradox. So infinity is very difficult notion. It is how to say, pregnant of many contradictions. Okay, infinity, especially when we come to infinite multitudes. You remember Cantor, Georg Cantor, a famous mathematician, and his paradoxes of infinity. So, and when you say indefinite, then you say, well, I'm not insisting on the existence of actual infinity. I only say that we cannot find the border of our universe, that it is indefinitely large, okay, but not infinite. So he sort of begged the question. You understand? To beg the question. Who knows this expression? Beg the question. Well, uh, just evade the question. Okay, evasion. Yes, Angels, yeah, evasion. This looks like very Spanish. Okay, evadere.
Yes, evadir.
Yes, so this, to escape the question, escape the difficulty. But he cannot say, Descartes couldn't say that our universe is finite. He couldn't say so because it seemed to him contradictory. So what is that finite? It means that all the stars are on the same sphere, as Aristotle thought, and even Copernicus thought so, that all the stars are on the same sphere and our universe is spherical and finite. This was sort of uh, uh, Descartes said goodbye to this conception. And it paved the way to Isaac Newton, the last whom I want to speak. Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton. Newton. He wrote the book, very famous one. Also, I will give you English and Latin variants because it was written in Latin. The first edition was in Latin. Philosophia Naturalis Principia Mathematica. Philosophia Naturalis Principia Mathematica. Well, or in English, the mathematical principles of natural philosophy.
Professor, just to add something to the concept
Yes,
of the
please.
word of infinity,
Oh,
I remember
mathematical.
I remember from the Latin verb is finire, is to end something, to put limits.
And
So,
infinite is a negation of finiteness.
uh-huh,
So
the
in
negation of
means
finire,
yes,
without limits,
non-finite,
without borders, without an
mathematica,
ending.
not mathematica, but mathematica. So okay, so uh, mathematical principles of natural philosophy. This was the work of Isaac Newton. And the work of Descartes was called just Principles, Principia Philosophiae. So you see how Newton extended the initial name of the work of René Descartes, Principia Philosophiae. But he, of course, continued in the same vein, but only sort of we made it with some precision. Uh, so, in with Descartes, the Descartes in 1644 published in Amsterdam Principia Philosophiae, or Principles of Philosophy, and Newton in 1687 wrote the book Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy. So he added mathematical for principles, and he added natural to philosophy. So he restricted the object of his work. He said, well, I will not speak about philosophy in general. It's too complicated and it's too abstract and it will lead us nowhere. I will consecrate only on natural philosophy. This is science, natural philosophy, philosophy of nature. Also, you speak about principles. Principles are too general a concept. I prefer to speak about mathematical principles. So I will speak with the language of mathematics. And I remind you that Galileo also said that the book of nature is written in language of mathematics. Sort of, you see, the book of
Yeah.
nature is written in the language of mathematics. And in the 20th century, Eugene Wigner wrote the article on the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics in natural sciences. So this is a long tradition of how mathematics can be used to explain the world. And here, Newton was the master. Newton knew that already Kepler established his three laws of planetary motions. And according to the first law of Kepler, is it? He's not in the agenda, but I think uh, he's important. German astronomer Kepler. And if you studied astronomy at school, or say if you studied theoretical mechanics, then you perhaps know about the laws of Kepler. I will ask Maria Zaychenoka if she has no problem with the microphone. Do you know the laws of Kepler?
Yes, they're mostly about the movement of the planets.
Yes, but the first law of Kepler says that uh, uh, planets move on elliptic trajectories. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
elliptic, and this ellipsis is a very special figure, and people can wonder why do the planets select this type of trajectory. So it was unexplainable even to Kepler. And Newton was the first to explain it using the two laws, the law of universal gravitation and the law of the conservation of momentum. So these two laws made him possible to prove that the trajectory should be elliptical in a certain, of course, initial conditions. If the velocity of the planet will be too large, it will just leave the solar system, okay? You understand? Then its trajectory will be hyperbolic. You understand? Okay? I'm correctly speaking or I'm inventing something?
No, it's probably like that.
Okay. Just what is important is that Newton showed or shoe, I don't know, well, maybe showed, that it is so by using mathematical equations, mathematical principles. So, and this was the breakthrough because before Newton there was unexplainable fact of elliptical motions of planets or laws of Kepler, which there was no explanation for that. And Newton showed with rigorous thinking that it is so and it should be so. Okay, this is the breakthrough. That's why people admired Newtonian work as an example of strict reasoning and strict science. So we can say that from Newton on, uh, there were humanities, there were philosophy, and there was strict science. So strict science was born with Newton. Okay. Well, of course, he had predecessors: Galileo, Kepler, Descartes, Bacon. They were all help Copernicus. They were all helping, but the final stroke was done by Newton. So that's why we end with Newton. Okay, this is the logic of this fourth question among the basic questions of our course. Of course, I didn't invent those questions. I already told you that I didn't invent them. I took them as they are. So I'm under certain obligation to teach you according to a certain program. That's I'm not free. I cannot change substantially the contents of our program. So please be content with these four names: Galileo, Bacon, Descartes, and Newton. Only I added Kepler, just because I think it is important. But I I skipped, for example, Blaise Pascal. You know who is that person?
I think it's French.
Blaise
Yeah.
Pascal. Because he is not in the program, he is ignored by the authors of this program. I don't know why. Maybe I think he's no less important than Galileo, but still I have to obey. I cannot just change the program substantially. So I can only say that, well, if I were the author of the program, of course, I would give more attention to Blaise Pascal. But he's not there. He's ignored. I don't know for what reason, but still, I can't. This is a certain mystery for me. But well, I take it as it is. Now there are 4 minutes. Uh, well, Mehdi, are you? Did you receive the link in time
Yeah,
today?
yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
good. I will
Yeah, yeah.
always
It Anshita, thank you so much.
okay
He sent invite.
because it was. I have to apologize because there were some difficulties
No,
with sending the
but
link.
I sent one new platform. It's Jitsi. It's
I see. I see.
it works better. It's not interrupt after 40 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I use that in my class and it works
I
very
see.
well.
I see. Now, Lee, do you follow my lecture or uh,
Yes.
yes? From what city do you follow my lecture, Lee? From China or from Moscow?
Sir,
Moscow.
Sorry, Prof.
she,
You say Ali or
From
Lee?
Moscow. From Moscow.
Yeah.
Yes, from the dormitory, from the students' dormitory in Dolgoprodny.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Are you healthy? Because I was
Yes.
informed that some people got ill.
I'm safe.
Okay, but there were Chinese also, so maybe you know about them.
I know there's no cases be informed in China. It's just some people from a foreign country.
Okay, okay, okay. Because I was informed that they couldn't attend classes in the auditors. They will follow by Zoom the class. But for me, this information was not important because I'm teaching distantly. So, uh, well, I hope you will remain in good health and all of you, and then we can continue our classes next week, next Saturday. So, Anshita, do you have any questions or maybe you have wishes that I do not satisfy?
uh, uh, actually, I think we all need some material to read because it's like we don't know what is the syllabus and we don't know what you are teaching to us. And this is, as we are new to philosophy of science and history of science, so this is still a mystery to us, like what is
I
going
see.
on. So to connect in a better learning scenario, we need some
Prepare to the
material,
lectures beforehand. Okay. So
at
then I
least be
will do,
presentation or
I see. I
something.
see. I see. So I will uh, prepare you for the next week. We'll speak about Immanuel Kant. So please get ready. This is a famous German philosopher, Immanuel
Emmanuel.
Kant.
Okay.
Kant. Kant. Kant is a surname. Immanuel is a first name. Well, so please get some information from textbooks, or I can send you my lecture on Immanuel Kant in English. So you can, I will send you some of my lectures in English. Also, if somebody else is interested, I can send to everybody. Just because I want to spam, to create spam. If people don't want to read, and I will insist, read my lectures, they will say, well, what you are thinking about yourself? Are you a genius or kind? Why should we read your lectures? Okay. But
Yeah, but
in
we
case
need